every time. I need to put like a big sticky in the middle of my computer when I do these. Hit record. So I'm gonna keep letting everybody in. So if you have friends or power partners or other, colleagues that are gonna be getting in, because I know it for many of you, it's not lunch hour. For a lot of us, it really is lunch hour. And so let me hit gallery view because then I can see everybody who's not muted and mute them real quick. I think there's just a few trying to get on, and sometimes we'll hear their car, as they're connecting. So however you learn about these is where it will be posted. Usually today or tomorrow, I'll post the Zoom recording. I know many of you dislike that. But over the weekend, my virtual assistant puts it on the YouTube channel that many of you have already subscribed to. So you'll get to see it on YouTube. So if you're just patient with me a little bit, it's on both places. And I've been loving these Thursday lunch and learns. I feel like everyone has been powerhouses, just different forethought, different ideas. And I don't know, I'm one of those that believe you could be trained on booking every day from somebody different each time, and you would learn something new. I always like you to have 3 takeaways, right? And that's what I love about these. It's kind of like your midweek pick me up before we get into our crazy weekends. And ladies, there's like 7.5 weeks left of this seminar year. And many of you have audacious goals, and we just want to bring it to you. And it's just truly a go give thing when these women do this for us, just because sometimes they're not even the same seminar affiliation. I know everyone from all over is joining these now. And so please feel free, if you're part of a Voxer group or a Facebook group or anything like that, you are more than welcome to blast it out everywhere. I warn everybody, we're recording them, and it's for every consultant, every director. It does not matter you're walking this business yet. It's from the day you signed your agreement on, because I just really feel like we as a community have to stick together and really help each other. And not that I don't love all the trainings that we have access to through corporate. I just believe sometimes the best of the best is right here, right in the workforce with us. And we want that. And so we have the honor and privilege to have $1 Million Sales Director, Mary Kathryn King. And I know many of you probably know her personally. You might be part of her unit if you're on here today, or spinoff director, or being guided by her, mentored by her. But I got to meet her on the Alaskan top trip, and we had a mutual really good friend that kind of connected us. Melissa, she was out here in Colorado, and she said, when you go, because she wouldn't do cruise ships, she's like, you've got to connect with Mary Kathryn King. She's the real deal. She's so go give heart, and we'll make sure you're taken care of. And Mary, I appreciate you. I love watching you all win. I love watching your pictures with your daughter too. That's always fun too. But I just want you to know how much I greatly appreciate you taking time out of our busy year in for seminar and giving back to all these women from coast to coast all over. And I know some people are like, I've been sharing it with like they have friends in other countries that do Mary Kay. And I'm like, I don't care. Share it with whoever. That's what this is about. And thank you for honoring Mary Kay's image. Thank you for honoring what she stood for this company, representing that and being the epitome of Mary Kay. Because unfortunately now people will never meet Mary Kay Ash, right? And so we have legacy leaders that do that for us. And you are definitely one of those, my sweet friend. And I just want you to know how much I love and appreciate you. And I'm going to let you take it over. Do you mind if I hit spotlight? I know some people don't like that. I know, just so you know, if I hit spotlight, you all can go up in the right-hand corner and hit gallery and change it. I don't know. I like to see the Brady Bunch, I like to see everybody's faces, but does that bother you if I do that?
And no, it doesn't bother me at all. I love seeing everybody's faces. Like, I'm super excited to see some of these people that I have loved and respected and admired on the screen right now. So I recognize some of your names, and it's just an honor to be here, Jennifer. And me taking time out. How about you taking time out every single week? So I just applaud you for what you're doing and your go give spirit and attitude for all that you're doing for the Mary Kay family. And if you know me, I'm the 3rd generation in my family to have a Mary Kay business. My daughter is the 4th generation to be a sales director in our family. And so my blood runs pink. And so I'm all about supporting our Mary Kay family. And I'm very passionate about taking Mary Kay into the future, so that Mary Kay is as amazing for my daughter and her daughter as it has been for myself, my mother, and my grandmother. So thank you for asking me to be on today. And I'm super fired up about May. I love May, and I've learned a lot of things about how to do May and June. And I guess because I've messed them up, right? You learn, everything is a learning experience. And so May and June is the finish but what I want to share with you today is that it is the start. And I really messed that up a couple times. Like the first time I did a national court of sales, I was so fired up in just selling enough to cross the finish line that then in July, I was like, "Ooh, relax." I did it and I whooped it up. And then I came back in August and I was like, wow, I don't really have anything going on. And then like, whoops, it's already September before I got something going on. And then I missed it the next year because I got so far behind that I wasn't able to catch up. And then the first time that we did the trip in 2008, I did the same thing. Like we were so focused on finishing that then it was, and sometimes we see this when you finish a red jacket or a new car or any like major career achievement, then it's kind of like a free fall afterwards because there's not the next thing that you're already working on. So I did it in 2008. So we didn't make the trip in 2009 or 10. And then 11, I was like, okay, we're going to do it this year. And I did the same thing. We were so fired up about earning that trip to Hawaii. And we were so incredibly excited that we finished it that I'm not kidding. We wore Hawaiian dresses every week for like 6 weeks. My consultants brought in everything made with pineapple that you could imagine for like 2 months. I mean, like we whooped it up until I got back from the trip. And then it was like, rut-row. And then we didn't make it 2012. So that was the last time I needed to learn that lesson. So what I learned is to teach my consultants and myself that we're playing the infinite game, not the finite game. And so the languaging, the mindset of it's not over on June the 30th. That is a little bit of a deadline there, but July 1st is another day. And so I want to be always teaching myself that with June 30th, but also with their parties. It's not that you're looking to have great sales at the party because that would be a finite game. And I also played that game. I was so broke when I started Mary Kay that all I could think about was how much could I sell at this party because I needed the money. But I was building a very narrow, very shallow business. And so I'd come home and I'd be like, Mom, guess what? I sold $500. And she'd be like, great. How many career chats did you book? What? I'll think about that later. Well, how many bookings did you get? Maybe one. How many referrals did you ask for? I forgot about that. She'd be like, well, tomorrow morning you get to start over at zero again. Ooh. So I learned to play the infinite game with my personal business. And I teach that to my consultants, which is the 5 things to focus on at your party. Number 1, have fun. If you have fun and they have fun, everybody wants to have more fun. Number 2, look for your new team members. Number 3, look for those referrals, ask for those referrals. Number 4, get more bookings. And number 5, last, is to get the sales. I'm teaching them how to play the infinite game. But also now I'm talking about playing the infinite game of, yes, we want to win in May and June, but also right now we're setting up for July and August. Because if you finish out the end of the year and you give it all you've got and you aren't set up for July, and then it's the 4th of July, and then it's seminar, and then a vacation, and oh my gosh, the kids are all home. I mean, that's another whole topic. The kids are home from school, the weather's nice. I know everybody lives in different parts of the country, but where I live, we have such a short season of nice weather, but that when it's nice, people want to be outside, they want to be doing stuff. So I have to position myself and my business and my unit to win in May and June, but also in July and August. And this is when it happens. Already talking about how to finish, but how to start this new seminar year. And so you can avoid some of those mistakes that I have made so that you don't have that sheer cliff drop off in the month of July, because everyone has, quote, finished their goals. Oh, they just finished that goal. We have new goals that we're working on. And so I want to be setting up. And so I was hoping, sometimes the last couple of years, we've had that twice as nice promotion in May. We didn't get it, but that's okay. In June, we've had a couple of years where we did the 55% off skincare. So I want to be ready just in case they run that promotion again. So I'm always thinking ahead of, what if Mary Kay does this? Another time we've seen it, Mary Kay do the twice as nice kind of thing in the month of July. I saw him do it on skincare. See, I've been around a while. I saw it do it on skincare. Like you got double credit on miracle sets. Like any of you remember that? So you never know what they're going to do, but I want to be in position that I can win at whatever Mary Kay might share with us. So right now I'm using the free red jacket promotion as a stepping stone to get people on target for their cars. I want my consultants driving Mary Kay cars for free. I'm so grateful that I've been able to have the privilege of earning the use of one of the Mary Kay career cars, because where I've not had to use family budget for payments and plates and things like that, we've been able to use towards our kids' 529 college programs. And I'm very passionate about the car program. And so I love getting people on target for their cars all the times, but especially right now, because then they can go to seminar feeling like they're like a prairie fire on a windy day. They're so excited, but also then they have a real reason to work when it's really nice outside and you kind of want to go to the pool. So getting people on target for their cars right now is super important. People that are really nailing that princess court, they can believe bigger to maybe they don't see finishing the national court, but they see, wow, I did the princess court this year, I think I could do the national court next year. Well, we're ramping up right now to start strong instead of starting way behind in July and August. Then they've got a steady game that they're going to play all year next year to hit that national court of sales. So I'm starting that vision now with consultants that don't see it anymore, but they do see that they had tremendous growth in their business and they're feeling really successful right now. Get that started instead of flatlining in the month of July, which can happen. And it happens because summer is a little bit of a different beast. You know, I always say there's two seasons in Mary Kay where you have to play the game a little bit differently, and that's the holidays and that's the summer. Because for a lot of us, we're working from home and their kids are home. And I love my kids being home, but wow, you know, the chaos of there's no more like quiet time. There's more, you know, there's not as much time at the computer as there was before because the kids are running around. And I've always had a really nice office, but I can't tell you how many hours I've spent hiding in my closet from my kids trying to get something done, you know? And so it's teaching my consultants how to navigate the different game of summer and having the kids around and nice weather and vacations and running your own business in addition to maybe going to school or work or everything else that you might have going on in your life. So I'm sharing all of that education and mindset right now so that I'm prepared for July and August before July and August happens. And winning in July and August also helps me to win in May and June. And so it's all about winning. All we say all the time is that all we do is win. And so I'm setting them up for those wins. And so I think that because we now know how to do a virtual business, our business is even better prepared for the different season of summer. And so what I would say about the virtual business is that one of the things that I'm good at is I'm good at seeing change coming. And I saw this, I'm so grateful that I happened to see that I never thought that what would happen with the pandemic was actually going to happen. But in February, before it happened, I actually told my secretary to order 100 samples of everything, because I said, just in case something weird happened and I wasn't able to do parties around the kitchen table, I want to be able to mail out packets. So we ordered in everything, and I thought I'd actually give them away as prizes and stuff. I never, ever imagined that I would do with it what I did, but I was ready for it. And you guys, virtual is here and virtual is here to stay. And I don't know how you feel about it. I'm seeing a lot of people going back to in person, and that's totally okay. But I want you to think about some things that I've been reading and watching in a lot of different areas. One of them is called the new phenomenon called Hogo. And Hogo is, you know, FOMO, fear of missing out. Well, Hogo, they're calling hassle of going out. Hogo. It's a real thing. There was even an article about it from the UK, like the UK Daily Mail or something like that, about the phenomenon that they're seeing, that people are buying tickets to concerts and sporting events, making dining reservations, and they're not showing up. Even though they paid money for these concert tickets, they're not showing up. And they're calling it this concept of hassle of going out. We got so used to being at home that a lot of people have decided, you know what? I like being home in my yoga pants. I like being able to pick up, you know, curbside and come home. I like that. And so they want to keep doing that. And something interesting, just where I live, there's a large grocery store chain that has pickup groceries. So I pick up my groceries every week. You just pull up, you text them, they bring your groceries out and load them into your car. I love it. And it's become so big at this store that it is completely overrun at the grocery store. And now they built on a humongous addition. And the app has the capability that when you pull onto the parking lot, they know you're there. I don't even have to text them anymore. You pull into a special parking lot and they bring it right out to your car. It's part of that hassle of going out. People love being able to stay home, but also not to be like bad news or anything, but more and more they're talking about recession. So I'm gearing my customers and consultants up that just in case we see another recession, it's going to be okay, because at Mary Kay, we're recession proof. We've seen that before. So in the back of my mind, in their mind, I want them thinking, Mary Kay is going to be a great thing to do. Mary Kay is going to fill the gap if I need it to. So there's that recession thought that's out there. There's the great resignation where people are quitting their jobs because they want to be at home. So if someone is really wanting to be at home and your messaging is all about come home from work, get dressed up, go back out and do a party, and then come back home and carry in all your stuff, that might need be something that they want to hear anymore. Maybe it is, maybe they're a person that wants to do hybrid, maybe they're a person that wants to do in person, but maybe they're the person that's like me. And I loved doing parties around the kitchen table for 28 years. I was doing 3 to 5 of them every single week leading up to March the 12th, 2020. But now I'm not going back to that, because I can do so much more, so much faster. My party tonight is all guests from Arizona. I love that. I could never do that in person. So, I mean, I don't think I need to preach on how awesome the virtual business is, but because of these other things, including, so there's Hogo, there's the recession, there's the great resignation, but also what are our competitors doing in the direct selling industry? And truthfully, I was like, how come some of these other companies like start up and they go so big so fast, when I believe with my whole heart and soul we have the best product with the best staff and the best people and the best founder, the best company philosophy? You could never talk me out of believing that Mary Kay is the best opportunity for women in the world. But sometimes I would see people do these other things where they made less money, and I was like, what? I couldn't believe it. Except, you know what? Even though they were making less money, they could do more volume at home. And that was a real aha for me. So I think, how can I take what makes Mary Kay special and match it to the virtual world so that I can have more money, more impact, a bigger business, a bigger customer base, a bigger team, and all of that. So if you are talking to people that are all about, this company over here does this, I only want to stay home, the recession might be coming, I've got to get a backup plan, or I just don't want to go out anymore, make sure that you are confident in an in-person, a hybrid, and a virtual business, because a virtual business is the direction that we're going. And I believe that the proof is we just had our best year ever, ever, ever by a mile. That way is a way that a lot of people like to do it. And so I think that the best is yet to come in Mary Kay. I think that we are positioned to have a phenomenal summer in Mary Kay, but it's just maybe thinking a little bit different, planning a little bit different, teaching a little bit different, and I expect that I'm going to have a killer July. I expect that I'm going to have an amazing August, because I'm setting up right now for that win. So I saw some in the chat that somebody asked, am I doing my parties on Zoom and Facebook? Yes. The answer is yes, I'm doing both. I mostly do Zoom. That's my jam. That's what I like the most, but I'm doing 3 Facebook parties this week as well. So I do both. I just prefer Zoom a little bit more. I do use samples for Zoom. I don't do them for Facebook parties. You could do whatever you want to do. And that's the great thing about this. You can do whatever you want to. And if doing in person, I'm not saying that's wrong or anything. If that's what brings you joy, that's awesome. But from a business perspective, from a $1 per hour proposition, you can make more money in virtual. And so I choose make more money. And it's not all about the money, but I do have 3 kids, and they want straight teeth and college educations and all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited about that. I am an introvert, so staying home for me all the time is my jam. Like not going anywhere, I'm like cool with that. But if you are an extrovert and it brings you joy to be with people, be with people. I'm just saying you want to be confident as leaders in teaching your people how to do this business however best fits for them. So I hope that this has been a blessing for everybody. I know that I just had 20 minutes, so I don't know if anybody wants to ask a question or anything like that, but it's just having the mindset of get ready for summer and have the mindset that this is not just the finish, that this is also the start, because we're playing an infinite game to win, not just in May and June, but to win all the time. So Jennifer, thank you so much. And again, if I can ask any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Yes, I know Sandy Cook put, how are you doing your parties? Oh, you already answered it, Zoom and Facebook. I agree. I think you got to be versatile. One idea that I don't know why it hadn't dawned on me. It's no different than if you're your own hostess in your own house, right? You invite your customers. I started doing just kind of like Jen Besecker's Facebook party in my private Facebook group for my customers. I do one a month, and I'm shocked at how each month differently it's grabbing different people. Like, you have most of your customers in there, and I was like, why can't I just do it on here? Like and I do the posts and I do all the things. And because I'm a Zoom girl or in-person girl. So I was like, but here's the thing. I forced myself to do it because I'm like, some people, Facebook parties are their jam. That's where they're comfortable. That's where they excel. That's where Jen excels. And I'm like, oh no, I need feedback constantly. And so I love those ideas that you're saying, work all of it. And you're so right. Sometimes if you watch, you'll sometimes do it every month, not just through the year. You'll like, whoa, April's done. All right, let's move on to May. And you start like a week later. And so we got to stop that vicious cycle.
Yes.
So thank you so much for sharing. Did anybody want to unmute? We'll have a couple minutes where you can, I don't know, affirm Mary Kathryn King, or maybe have a question.
I see a couple questions. One of them is any tips for doing a virtual party? I would say my number one tip is pretty much treat it like an in-person party. Keep it fast, but critical is the phone call follow-up afterwards. And so to make sure that nobody ducks and dodges me after the party is, if Jennifer was the hostess, I'd say, okay, everybody, so what's going to happen now is 3 things. Number 1 is I'm going to call you and I'm going to thank you. Thank you so much for buying or for washing your face with Mary Kay today. This is how I support my family. And I know you could go to any big box store. So anyways, I kind of do my thing about how I'm going to thank them. And then I tell them that I'm going to see if what purchase they would like to make, because Jennifer is getting credit for that. And lastly, I'm going to see what all deals they want to take advantage of, because I love deals. And when you all answer the phone, Jennifer is going to get a bonus of a travel set of our hydrogel eye patches. We already talked about how awesome they are. And Jennifer's going to get that when you all answer the phone. So make sure that you answer the phone. I have a 219 area code.
That's
Nobody ducks and dodges me anymore. Okay. Because if you duck and dodge me, then your friend isn't going to get her gift. So people don't duck and dodge me anymore. So I would say that. So it's all about the phone. It's all about the phone call. And if it's a Facebook party, the hostess is responsible for getting me that information, the contact information. I mean, she's getting free stuff, so it's on her to get me the phone numbers. I don't send samples for a Facebook party. If they come to the Facebook party and they want samples, I will send samples after that. Tips for closing the class. I would close the class on Facebook and Zoom, just like I did around the kitchen table. And then I do that phone call afterwards. They have the placemat in their bag. They have the It Just Fits flyer in their bag. So I'm doing that. Any tips or ideas for getting referrals virtually? And so getting referrals virtually, I would say, is the only thing that's been more tricky than anything else than it was in person. I do have a sheet that goes on the backside of my closing sheet that's, refer a friend, and they get levels. So if they give me 3 names, they get a mini ultimate mascara sample because it's free with a CDS order. If they give me 6 referrals, they get a mini deluxe. If they give me it's just like an increment of whatever, because I'd be happy if I just got 3 referrals. Take a picture, shop your friends. So I do that whole thing. Take a picture and send me a sheet of the referrals. So I do that with them. But really my favorite part about Facebook posting parties is there's 20, 30, 40, 50 leads in there. So I just booked 2 more today from a Facebook posting party. So Facebook posting parties to me are kind of like an outside order hostess, like that kind of thing, like a book party kind of a thing. So I can book those people from that. And they're kind of like sheets of referrals to me. Okay. Anything else?
I love all of that. There's so many fun things.
These classes are separate hostesses, not necessarily. Sometimes I might have 3 parties going on at the same time on a Zoom. I'm not in a Facebook party because until we get a party link, which if you could go to contact us at in touch and ask Mary Kay to please, 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 please give us a party link. That will be awesome, because I've nagged until I'm as blue in the face as my shirt right now about how we need a party link. But that would be confusing because you wouldn't know which hostess and all that. But for a Zoom, yeah, I might have 3 parties going on at the same time. I might have 2 hostesses of my own, and I might have a brand new consultant who's having a launch party at the same time. So yes, I do big groups all at the same time on Zoom.
I love all those ideas. I'm so glad so many were able to get on today to get revved up for not just May and June, but July and August. And isn't it powerful that we all get to be in charge of what we want to do? We're the CEOs, we're the president, and we get to decide our paycheck. And I just think that's so powerful in today's age that we get to decide that. So thank you, ladies, for joining. Thank you for sharing with us your brilliant ideas. I deeply appreciate you. And I'll be getting the recordings out. And those were all great questions. So thanks, ladies, for asking those, and that we can get them answered. And again, thank you. Thank you so much, my sweet friend, for taking your time today to do that. We greatly appreciate that.
Oh, thank you, Jennifer. And I look forward to hanging out in Scotland and Ireland with you.
Yes, friend, we're going to do it. I hope you all have a terrific Thursday and good luck in May. And we'll see you all back here next week, same time. Bye, ladies.
Bye.